So at the beginning of this year, I selected 9 patterns that I wanted to make in 2022, but how many of them have I actually sewn? Hi, I'm Amelia and welcome to my channel Sew Amelia, where I talk all about making a handmade wardrobe for me and my children. In this week's video, I'm going to be letting you know just how many of my Make 9 plans I have sewn so far and how many I have left to try and make up by the end of the year. So if you're not familiar with the Make 9 challenge, it's a very informal challenge where sewists over on Instagram pop a grid up with 9 photos of patterns that they would ideally like to get sewn up in that year. There's no pressure, there's no prizes, it's just a fun challenge, and I'm someone who absolutely loves to plan. And so this really appealed to me because goals, planning, spreadsheets, perfect. So for my Make 9, I chose 9 things that I have wanted to make for a really long time, and that by putting them on my Make 9 it would really help motivate me to get these things sewn up this year. So what is on my Make 9? Let me just quickly pop through the grid, tell you what I wanted to sew up, and then I'll go through each one and let you know what I've actually managed to make. So from left to right, top to bottom, number 1 was the Coat by Papercut Patterns. Number 2 was a 2-for-1 really. I wanted to make the Hug Hoodie and the Slow Pants, both by Madeit Patterns. Number 3 is the Black Beauty Bra by Erin. Number 4 is the Ariana Sundress by Style Arc Patterns. Number 5 is the Blanca Flight Suit by Closet Core Patterns. Number 6 is the Winslow Culottes by Helen's Closet. Number 7 is the Hackney Cardigan by We Are Knitters. Number 8 is the Rose Café Bustier dress by Daria Patternmaking, and number 9 is the Steele Pinafore by Elbe Textiles. Okay, so how many of these have I actually made? Well, so far to date, I have actually made 5 out of the 9 patterns, which, with 4 months to go of the year, I'm pretty pleased with. So I started with a bang, and I managed to make the first pattern from my Make 9 in January this year, and that was the Hug Hoodie and the Slow Pants by Madeit Patterns. I really loved this pattern. The Hug Hoodie, if you followed me on Instagram or you followed me for a while on YouTube, you will know I have a love affair with this pattern. I have made so many Hug Hoodies. They're so comfortable for the winter, and my wardrobe is now full of hugs, which is lovely. Here are my Hug Pants. Now, for more details about these patterns and about the sizes I made and the fabric that I used and how I found the patterns, if I go through that in this video, you are going to be here forever. So what I will do is in the description box below, I will link my monthly makes videos in which I talk about these patterns, and then you'll find all of the details if you are interested in a particular pattern. Here are the Slow Pants, and they have a racing stripe down the side, which I think is super cute, and really beautiful pockets which just sit in between that front piece and the side stripe. Now I made these in a really gorgeous, snuggly warm sweatshirting, and they are perfect for the depths of winter when it's really, really cold and you want to snuggle up. However, they are a bit heavyweight for sort of autumn, so these are ones I really pull out when I want to be very, very warm and snuggly. Now for the side stripe, I used the same fabric as I made my Hug Hoodie in, so that they could be kind of a matching loungewear set, which was what I wanted. I wanted something I could wear separately but also together. So here is the Hug Hoodie that I made. Very difficult to show you because it's in this navy blue, but the reason I love it is because it can go with jeans, it goes with the tracksuit bottoms obviously, it can even go over some skirts and dresses, so it's really, really versatile, especially in this navy blue colour, and I have worn it a lot. So that was the first thing on my Make 9. Now obviously I wasn't satisfied with just 1 set, I wanted to make 2, particularly because those tracksuit bottoms were so thick. I really wanted to try and make them in a slightly lighter fabric. So for the second set of the Slow Pants and Hug Hoodie, I made them in a delicious Ponte from Beyond the Pink Door. Now this is a slightly heavier weight Ponte, so it is really good for tracksuit bottoms, and it's a lighter weight than the sweatshirting, although it does have a fleecy back, so it's snuggly without being too warm. They've got pockets, I mean, perfect. And the contrast stripe down the side, so I made those, and of course the matching jumper. Now this is in, I think, my new favorite color for the year, which is this raspberry color. And this again goes with jeans, it goes with a few of the dresses that I've made, it goes with those tracksuit bottoms, and it's just so snuggly and warm. So that was my January Make 9, the Hug Hoodie and the Slow Pants. Now the second pattern that I sewed up was the Steele Pinafore by Elbe Textiles. Now when I initially sewed this one up, I wasn't 100% sure about it. Now it has really interesting style lines, which is what attracted me to this pattern. There's really interesting lines here on the bodice, which are top stitched down, so they look so pretty. And then the back, again, you know I love a good back. The back is like this, it's quite cut away. So the original pattern has got ties here, so you make buttonholes in this section here, and these straps tie in. Now, many of us have busy lifestyles. I did not want to be fussing about with ties on the back of a pinafore. I knew that I probably would tie them up once and leave them, or my children would undo them when I was least expecting it, and that's not good. And also when I'm driving the car or cycling the children around, I just thought sitting against those straps might be slightly uncomfortable. So it was very, very easy to just adjust the pattern and have those sewn into the back of the pinafore. And then I lined it in a beautiful Pigeon Wishes poplin that I had left over in my stash. Again, beautiful, beautiful pockets. It has two versions of the pinafore. You can have a straight front across here, or you can gather the skirt in. And I chose to make the gathered skirt because I just thought that added fullness would look lovely. Now, like I say, when I first made the pinafore, I wasn't sold on it. I wasn't sure about how it looked on me, but actually as I've worn it more and more and more, I've loved it more and more. I made it in this navy enzyme washed linen from Sew Me Sunshine, which has just softened beautifully with washing and wearing, and it's actually one of my favorite things in my wardrobe to just pull on and go for an easy outfit on a busy day. I do wear it an awful lot because it's just so comfortable and quick and easy. And who doesn't love linen? So that was my second make for my Make 9, the Elbe Pinafore by, no, the Steele Pinafore by Elbe Textiles. It's really interesting actually, so many of these makes that I've done so far for my Make 9 are blue. I'm not sure why that seems to be the prevailing colour, and what I'm wearing today is also blue. I'll share that with you later on. It is one of my favourite colours to work with, but I think it's just coincidence that all of these are blue, so I'm going to have to diversify the colours for the rest of my Make 9. But anyway, moving on to number 3, and in March I sewed up the Novacoat by Papercut Patterns, and oh my goodness, I think this is possibly the best thing I've sewn all year. I love it. Those of you who've been with me for a while will know that this was a happy accident. I had intended to make the whole coat in this camel colour here, this camel wool that I'd picked up in a closing down sale for a fabric shop, but I didn't have enough fabric. I was congratulating myself, patting myself on the back. You got out all the pieces, well done, you just managed. Pattern Tetris, well done, bravo, bravo. Came to put it together and realised I hadn't cut out like these pieces, so like piece number 1. Honestly, sleep deprivation is a real thing. I think one of my children must have been sick or something. But anyway, happy accident because I picked up some blue wool, just enough to colour block this coat. And I'm so pleased I made that mistake because I love this so much more than if I just made it in a plain camel colour. So I left the sleeves in the tan, and then I just followed this style line here around and up under the sleeve. So this piece here is also in that contrast navy wool. I didn't line it with any kind of batting or wool lining, so it's probably more an autumn or spring weight coat. I lined it with some beautiful Liberty lawn that I had a project planned for, but I'd fallen out of love with the project. So when I was going through my stash to find an appropriate lining, I thought, do you know what, I'm just going to use that for this coat because it will last a long time, it will look beautiful on the inside, and I do love a beautiful inside. Now initially I'd made this as a toile to see if I could make another one in the winter which is lined with a bit more of a thick lining. Now whether or not I get around to making another version of this, I'm not sure because I honestly love this so much. And because it is made out of a woolen fabric, when I layer it over other things, it's actually almost okay for most of the winter months. What I might do is Papercut Patterns have released the cutest range of children's patterns, which are mini versions of their adult patterns, and they have released a mini Nova coat, and it is so cute. And I think it comes with a beret as well. So what I might do is buy that pattern and make a version for my daughter or my son who needs a coat. I might make a version in perhaps a grey herringbone type wool for him for the winter. I haven't quite decided yet. I'm just so pleased with my toile that I'm not sure I'm going to make another one this year. That was number 3, my March make for my Make 9, which was the Nova coat. So in April, we headed off to New Zealand to see my family, which was just amazing after so many years apart in the pandemic. And while I was there, I used the machine that I learned to sew on, which was so lovely. And I made the Helen's Closet Winslow culottes. Now these are going to be very hard to show you because they're in black. I'm just going to pop up pictures because that's going to be much easier for you to see. These are lovely, very generous culottes. They do take up quite a bit of fabric. I made them in a viscose linen, which is so lovely to wear. They've got lovely deep pockets. There is a way that you can make the waistband elasticated at the back. However, I don't prefer an elastic waistband. I do prefer a fitted waistband, and this one just fits beautifully. It has got an invisible zip up the back, and I just love the way they sit on. They feel very comfortable. They're really flattering, great for swishing about on a warm day. So yes, those are the Winslow culottes by Helen's Closet, a really lovely pattern and one I may well repeat next summer, but honestly, one black pair of culottes goes with so many things in my wardrobe, so I'm super happy with that make. Now in May, I had plans to make one of my Make 9 makes, but it didn't happen for various reasons, and again in June, I didn't make anything for my Make 9. But in July I did, and if you've watched my recent makes video, you'll know what that was because I go into a bit of detail about it in that video. So I'll link that here, and if you want to hear more about this dress, do pop over and watch that after you finish this video. So yes, the fifth thing I made from my Make 9 this year was the Style Arc Ariana dress, and that is by Style Arc Patterns. Now this fabric unfortunately is no longer available. It was a dead stock cotton that I bought from Sew Me Sunshine. But do go and have a look at their website because they often have the most delicious dead stock fabrics that just come in and then go out very quickly because they're so beautiful. So I absolutely love the fabric. However, slightly disappointingly, despite checking measurements, finished measurements and everything else, the fit on this is not quite what I would like. So I did make a second version. Apologies, it's not done up. She hasn't got her poppers on yet, so she's slightly exposed, poor old Dolly. But that is the second version that I'm working on now, which is a much better fit. So I'm pleased that I made this one. I really like the style of it. It's a beautiful sundress. I love the line here on the bodice with the princess seams, and then this shirred panel at the back, which should allow for a really lovely fit. I have sized down for this version here, which just allows that shirred panel at the back to do more of the work of stretching a little bit to allow for a really nice close fit over the front of bodice. So I'm hoping that will turn out. The fabric actually did arrive yesterday afternoon, so I can now finish this off and turn it into my second version of the Ariana sundress because I was just disappointed with the fit of that one. I needed to have another go, and I think this one's going to turn out beautifully. If you're interested, this one is made up in a Fabric Godmother viscose twill, which I initially bought as a remnant, again from Sew Me Sunshine. So that's 5 of the 9 patterns. Before I go on to the ones I haven't yet made, let me briefly mention what I'm wearing today, and it is the Valerie dress by Forget Me Not Patterns, and it's made in a beautiful Rifle Paper Company cotton, again from Sew Me Sunshine. You can see it is one of my favourite fabric stores. They didn't pay me to say that. I do genuinely just love the fabrics that Harriet chooses to stock in her shop. So I was asked to test the new version of this pattern because Joe added some different sleeve options to the pattern, as well as a range of different fit options for the bust, which is fantastic. So you can get a really good fit. I think the size range was extended as well. So if you're interested in this dress, I'll leave a link in the description box below. I absolutely love wearing mine. It's got pockets. Love a good pocket. And it's just a really lovely light and airy dress for a summer's day. Okay, so the 4 patterns I have not yet sewn. So the first one I'll talk about is the Closet Core Blanca flight suit. Now, I have made a toile for this one. I did that in May, and it took me such a long time to get the fit right on that one. It was a real challenge to get the leg portion of the flight suit to fit me correctly. I do have quite a significant difference between my waist and hip measurements, about 10 or 11 inches. So it is difficult getting patterns, particularly jumpsuits, to fit well if they are fitted jumpsuits. Now, by the time I managed to get the fit right, in England we were heading into some really hot weather, and I just thought I couldn't possibly wear a flight suit in a cotton twill fabric in the heat. So I have just sidelined that one for the moment. I am planning to get back to work on that in September, hopefully for the autumnal weather that will follow, and I think I'll get a lot of wear out of that in the autumn as I get back on my bike, school starts up again, and I'm cycling the kiddos to school and back every day. So those of you who are worried about where the Blanca flight suit's gone, don't worry. It's sitting upstairs in my work in progress box, and it will be coming back in September, and it will be hopefully getting finished. The other pattern that's giving me conniptions is the Black Beauty bra by Erin. Now, I don't think Dolly will mind, but I'm just going to reveal what's underneath the style arc bodice, and it is the Geordie bralette by Erin. So this is another one of her patterns, and I just thought using some... Shall I bring her forward again? Come on, Dolly. Gosh. Now this hasn't been worn. Let me just say that. I made it simply as a trial run because I wanted to learn some of these bra making skills, working with the different elastics and with the straps and the bra fasteners and all the rest of that. So this was tried on though, and it doesn't fit. It doesn't even nearly fit, which shocked me because again, measured myself carefully, checked all the charts, cut out the right pieces as far as I knew, and yeah, just doesn't fit. So it's on the mannequin, which is quite good actually because it pads it out and makes it more like my size, which is great in terms of trying clothes on the mannequin. Not so great for my bra making journey. So really it has actually just put the fear into me a little bit about making bras, but particularly making another Erin pattern. I'm sure it would be fine if I just trialed some different ones out. I know you can't get bra making right the first time, but this was so wildly off that, like I say, it scared me a little bit. So after talking to some lovely friends who do quite a lot of bra making, I've settled on changing this pattern, and I'm going to change it for the Cloth Habit Watson bra. Now this one I think actually will fit my shape a little bit better anyway, and from what they said I think this is quite a good introduction to bra making for someone like me that's a bit of a novice in this area. Now there is a desperate need in my wardrobe for some bras, so I would like to try and get one sewn up in September if I can. So that's the second of my Make 9 that I've not yet sewn, that I'm hoping to get sewn up in September. Now the third pattern that I've not yet made from my Make 9 is the We Are Knitters Hackney cardigan. Let me show you my progress on that one. Yeah, it's still in the bag. I haven't opened, no, I've opened the bag, but I have not yet started. It's quite a simple pattern, so I'm not too worried about knitting that one up. And I think I'll work on that one over the October half term when my children are on holiday, and there's a lot more sort of just sitting around the house doing lots of crafts and things when the weather's cooled down and I feel a bit more like starting a new knitting project. So that one is ready to go, still on my list. I really want to get it made up. So I chose a black merry wool, so a merino wool blend from We Are Knitters, which is just lovely, lovely and soft. Now some of you warned me against the black wool because you said it'd be quite hard to knit with, particularly on those cooler, colder, darker winter nights. But I think it's going to be fine. The pattern is really, really simple. In terms of counting rows, that could send me cross-eyed, but I think it will be fine. And actually a black knitted cardigan will be super, super useful in my winter wardrobe. So that's that one. Okay, so the last pattern on my Make 9 that I have yet to sew is the Rose Café Bustier dress by Daria Patternmaking. I've seen so many beautiful versions on Instagram of this pattern over the summer, and I'm still so inspired to make this dress. But actually I'm saving it for a special occasion. And that's because while we were in New Zealand over Easter, my mother gave me some beautiful fabric that my father brought back from one of his travels overseas quite a few years ago now. And she wondered if I would like to sew it into something. And it is this beautiful red silk fabric. That's pretty special, so it needs to be saved for a special project. It's also obviously a beautiful red colour, and I think that would be really well suited to Christmas. So what I'm hoping to do is twirl the Daria Patternmaking Rose Café Bustier dress in November at some point, and then try and get it made up in this beautiful silk for Christmas. That's the plan. What I actually want to do with that is to make the bustier part as per the pattern, and then just do a gathered skirt for the skirt section. I don't want the fitted skirt that's in the pattern because I don't think that suits my shape, but a full gathered skirt I think will look really pretty, and it will allow me to use as much of this fabric as I possibly can. Now what I'm wondering about with that dress as well is whether or not I need to put some foam cups in the cup section of that bodice, and whether I need to bone it or not. So if you have made the Rose Café dress and you've got any advice for me, do pop it in the comments box below. I'd love to hear your experience of the pattern before I try to make up my own. So yes, those are my Make 9 plans. 4 things left to go, 4 months left in 2022. Can you believe it? The year has flown. So I'm hoping that I get these 4 things done in that time. However, there's no pressure. If I don't get them done, I don't get them done, but I still love these 4 patterns, so I'm really hopeful that I will get them done, and then I can share with you my completed Make 9 at the end of 2022. So thank you so much for watching today. I hope you enjoyed seeing a brief overview of those patterns. As I said before, The videos that they feature in will be linked in the description box below, so do pop across and watch those after this video if you want more details about any of those patterns. In the meantime, if you are a subscriber, thank you so much for sticking with me and watching another of my videos. If you're not yet a subscriber, I would so appreciate it if you would click that subscription button and hit the notification bell, and then you'll be made aware of when I publish future vlogs. So thanks again for watching. I hope you have a wonderful week ahead filled with lots of lovely sewing, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Goodbye!